All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak, Wadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of your millstone who rule well, peace, and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect, Shalom, Barakathum. And I'm just going to title this, He's Destined to Lose. He's destined to lose. All right. And who do I mean by he? I mean the rulers, the de facto rulers of the world today, okay, that's prophesied that they would be in rulership in the latter days. As a matter of fact, I'll start with that precept here in a second, but I'm going to be reacting to a small snippet that I saw in a redacted video. But let me go to this precept real quick. Okay, we should have heard this before. Second Esdras, Salakia, let me get there. Okay, Second Esdras chapter 6 verse 9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Okay, so most evangelists, most people that are in, call themselves so-called Christian, they'll agree with you that we're in the last days. Okay, they will all say, no matter, even across the thousands of Christian denominations, one thing that they agree on is that we're in the last days today. Okay, so the Bible is explicit right here. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." Okay, so that puts the things in context. All right, when we look at who's in charge today, who are the de facto leaders of the world today? Okay, who's passing all of the policies, who has all of the military power, who has all of the economic power? Okay, who is painted in these very in this virtuous and innocent light? Are people using skin darkening cream or skin lightening cream? All right, are people is the wig for afros, okay, number one, or is the wig for blonde stringy hair, number one? Because the images that have been put out, man, because he's made himself the number one image. Okay, so that's who's in charge. That's the context here. Okay, now let me play a little bit of this video, and I'll read a little bit out of Job, the 20th chapter. Okay,
this sort of ties into that in terms of the overall march towards a world government, which I think more and more people are realizing is the bigger picture for these organizations, the World Economic Forum, the United Nations. And my article particularly focuses on the Club of Rome, as well as another organization called the Commission for the Climate Commission, and another one called the Global Governance Commission.
And I need to do some research on the Club of Rome, because I'm familiar with the Treaty of Rome, which is the first covenant these Edomites all made in the era of World War II to establish the European Union and NATO and such. Okay,
all these sort of globalist organizations tied together. And as you said, this September 22nd, 23rd, in New York City, during the United Nations General Assembly Week, which is an annual meeting, they're having this special meeting called the Summit of the Future that they've been working on now since at least 2020, in the early days of COVID. And so my article, I basically went to trace back, like, where did these calls begin, this idea that we need to...
So notice he said back in 2020, I can't repeat some of the words. You gotta, YouTube likes to, you know what they like to do. But notice he said back in 2020, they started getting together. Why? Because you saw his first swipe at trying you, man. Like, before a nigga tries to bully you, he tests you. All right, he might bump into you. He might see if you gonna say something, and if you don't say something, then he gonna like run your lunch money. Then, and this is what happens if you don't deal with that swiftly. He's gonna be a problem for you, man. Okay, and so what happened in 2020? That's what he did. And all of these Americans, these people in Europe, none of you bucked up. You all went inside and got scared. You let them fearmonger you. Okay, and the biggest transfer of wealth went up went upwards. He did not disseminate it down to the people that were losing businesses, that lost jobs. All right. And so now, fast forward to 2024, he knows he got you now. All right. There's no way he's not going to do it again. Okay. If the bully took your lunch money on the first day of school and this is the second day of school, you can almost guarantee today when you go to school, he's going to try you again, man. All right. And this time, and it's going to get worse. All right.
Even remake the UN. They're talking about the idea of UN 2.0, and as you said, these discussions of declaring a planetary emergency. This idea.
Right, UN 2.0. So let me go to Job, the 20th chapter. All right, and I'll try to skip a few. It's long, but the whole chapter is good. All right, but because the UN 2.0, that's a wrap. That's him basically saying, look, I'm in charge. Forget all of this hiding behind the US dollar and the US military. Like, no, Esau's in charge. All right, because they try to split it up, you know, with the trilateral triangle offense, you know, with Esau and in America running the military, and London running the finance, and the Vatican spewing out the religious and ethical rhetoric. All right, what's right and what's wrong. Okay, this is why it's such a big deal when the Pope comes out and denounces one thing, or he sanctions one thing. It always makes news. Anytime the Pope says this is good or this is bad, it always makes news, because Esau looks to him to drive the moral arguments for what he's doing, even if it's wicked. If the Pope says it, then he'll convince a lot of people, man. Remember, the Catholic Church is the second largest real estate holder in the world. They're deep in Japan. They're deep in the Philippines. They're deep all throughout Africa, South Africa. They're definitely deep in the Latin American countries. Okay, Central and South America, heavily influenced by this, man. Okay, so this has been his goal up until now, but he's just getting ready to consolidate everything and say, look, we're the devil, deal with it. All right. So this is Job chapter 20 verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So this is the proof that he's not gonna win. Okay, going back to the title, you know, of the lesson, you can see what he's doing. It looks like he's gonna win, but he's not gonna win. Why? Because he's a hypocrite, and he's prophesied he wasn't gonna win. Okay, Esau should have been able to read the Bible and see, look, you have a finite reign. Okay, but he doesn't. And it says verse 6, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. Okay, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Okay, so he is mounted up into the heavens. Okay, he's got everything. He's got all the global supply chains, the global trade through the US dollar. He uses the military to make sure these trade routes get through. That's where all these military bases are about. Okay, he's got all of the influence. He sold the world on democracy. You got the Chinese wearing suits. Okay, you got Hamites down there in Africa. Those leaders, they're wearing suits. Okay, he's there, man. He's the ruler. So who else could Esau be if we're in the last days? Okay, and it says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Okay, and how is that going to happen? It's not going to be through conventional warfare. Okay, they're going to wage World War III, and then Yahushua, the Messiah, with the angels, are going to come by and squash this rebellion, because that's exactly what this is. Okay, the unipolar world of American hegemony the American empire is a giant act of rebellion. Okay, they've done the complete opposite of the Most High, what the Most High commanded man to do, which is live. Okay, Okay. So there's consequences for that, man. All right. I'll play a little bit more of this video.
That there are planetary boundaries, and instead of thinking about individual sovereignty or national sovereignty, we need to be thinking in terms of planetary sovereignty. And that sounds maybe good on some level on the surface, but as we understand these people's true intentions, when you look beyond the surface, it gets a little bit more worrisome.
Okay, who do we need to be sovereign against then? And so this is beyond just climate change, which they've used to give themselves power. This is like our sovereignty against who?
Right. You see that? They're saying the whole world needs sovereignty. Do y'all catch that? The whole world needs sovereignty, but against who? Because they know the Bible, man. They know who is on the way. Okay? The lamb is on the way. Okay? When it says hide us from the wrath of the lamb, when they go into these rocks, which is what these a lot of these bunkers are, they know who is on the way, man. This is why the scriptures say the joy of a hypocrite is but for a moment. Because they already understand this is temporary, man. But they're going to try it anyway, just like the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart. Okay? He knew he couldn't mess with the Most High on the first plague, man. All right? Then the second plague hit. He's like, oh, man, I really can't. And the Lord hit him with 10 plagues, man. Okay? But he still kept trying to, even after all of those plagues. Okay, he still pursued us into the Red Sea. Okay, that's this guy, man. He's literally gonna see Yahushua crack the sky with a bunch of chariots, so-called UFOs, and he's still gonna try to fight, man. Okay, that's written. You know. So, play a little bit more. I'll play a little bit more of this.
Well, it's climate change definitely ties into this. Folks might be familiar with this term the World Economic Forum's been using in the last couple of years, called polycrisis, which is becoming increasingly popular in the mainstream. You're probably going to hear it more. Or one of the ways they say we're facing a triple planetary emergency, and this would be climate change, pollution, and whatever else they want. But they tend to kind of throw different terms in there, but the point is they say we are facing a polycrisis, multiple crises at once.
And I did the video on the polycrisis, which is code for the plagues that are promised to hit Egypt. Okay, again, okay, in Revelation the 16th chapter. All right, I'll go to it real quick, see if it'll. Okay. Revelation 16:1, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of wrath of the Most High upon the earth. Okay, so this is in the end times. The Most High commissioned these 7 angels to go out and pour out the vials. These vials, when you read all the way down, they're major plagues hitting the entire earth. Okay, all of the water gets messed up. Okay, you see the sun. Okay, scorching men. Okay, because you have solar flash and things of that nature. You see blackouts. Read Revelation the 16th chapter, down to the 12th verse. All right, and then you'll see what we're saying. Okay. But this was promised, man. Okay, when Egypt was getting hit with those plagues in the ancient world, that was a polycrisis, man. Okay, you got hit with frogs. Okay, you got the water turned into blood, in rapid succession. So people have not even recovered from these things, man. Okay, you had hail. Imagine big soccer ball size hail falling down, man. All right. So these things are returning to the earth, but the Lord said This time, it would not be like any other time on the earth, man. So it's going to be way worse than what you can imagine. All right.
That is unprecedented in their view, and thus we need stronger international global systems to be able to better handle this. And I mean, I think things like climate change, obviously pandemics, these sorts of things, they, at least in the terms of the globalists, they make national borders less relevant, and that's what they want us to believe is, for us to properly deal with these terms, we need to move beyond these terms of thinking of Texas or Florida or the United States, and instead thinking of as a global community. But I think anybody who understands these people's intentions, you're not going to throw a bunch of technocratic.
So he's removing the borders across the whole world, man, and we saw this in 2020, man. Look who got all of this power, man. The who. The W, okay, to the H, to the O. All right, what happened? You start seeing these little tags on YouTube. Who was behind that, man? They were telling you what was okay to speak about. Okay, they passed the policy on what was real information versus misinformation. Okay, who was HOW? I'll say it in a different order. You know, HOW was passing this policy, not Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi or any of these Americans. Some nigga from overseas in some council was deciding what you can say. Okay, so in 2020, he ceded a lot of these laws to a global structure. Okay, that had nothing to do with borders, because Esau, when you get up to the Rothschilds level, man, they really don't give a damn about borders. They don't give a damn about the border from the Congo versus, you know, Cameroon. All right, they don't give a damn about the border between Italy and France. Okay, these are arbitrary, man. He sees these people have a rulership mentality, man, which they should, because the Most High put them in rulership. But it's the everyday people that think that these laws are separate, that people have a say. You know, you have a say to a certain degree, but ultimately he's gonna put his hand to accomplish this enterprise, okay, which is death, basically. Okay, but he's not going to win, because it's promised he's not gonna win. All right, but let me go to Job 20 down to verse 15. Now it says, he hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. All right, the Most High shall cast them out of his belly. This is promised, and he's already swallowed down the riches, man. All of the riches of the earth, that's his. Okay, like Uganda found 12 trillion of gold. You think that's Uganda's gold? It's not. Okay, unless Uganda's gonna fight off the entire Edomite empire, that's Esau's gold, man. All right, because he doesn't care about borders. He has no respect for borders, man. This is why the CIA is in every country. Whenever they think they got democracy or they think they can do what they want, he stalls a puppet leader, overthrows them, and before you know it, all of those resources are flowing into Esau's coffers. Okay, it says, verse 16, he shall suck the poison of asps, the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he hath labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. All right, according to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So he's going to have to pay all of this back. How is he going to pay all of this back? He's stolen so much. He's killed so many people. 1,000 years of slavery. That's how he's going to pay it back. Him, his kids' kids, and his kids' kids. Okay? That's how he's going to pay it back. And so all of these Israelites that are against having slaves in the kingdom, that are against, you're not really in the spirit of a recompense, man. Okay, you still have a loser mentality if you think that this guy can do all of this and not have to pay it back. Okay, that if he just changes his mind and becomes sorrowful and bows to Yahweh, that he's gonna get. No. First of all, the scriptures tell you he's not gonna do it. It's not in him to be upright, man. Okay? The Most High created certain people to be a certain way. And you got to come to the realization of that fact. Some men were just born to be wicked. Some men were born to be righteous. The Most High controls everything, man. It says the man's goings is of the Lord. So who are you to come in and talk about there's hope for an individual? The Lord already told you ain't no hope for it, man. All right? Anyway, I'll end it there. You can read the rest of Job 20. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rahak Wadash Shalom and Kwam Yasharallah.